Staying with the United States, Michael Wolff's book promises to take the lid off what happens inside the office and home of the world's most important man, the President of the United States. The book has been released ahead of its original launch date because Mr. Trump threatened to go to court to get a stay order. Excerpts have already appeared, and what's in there? Senior foreign editor of WION, Padma Rao, picks out some of the stuff about Mr. Trump that we didn't know about or didn't care to ask.
Author Michael Wolff must be a happy man. Barely a day after excerpts from his revealing book Fire and Fury appeared in the New York media, many bookseller sites around the world crashed from the rush of people who want to order it. So what are the most interesting things the book discloses about Mr. Trump, the most controversial president to have ever moved into the White House? Let's browse its pages to see what the author's sources told him. McDonald and fries. Trump's a parrot. The president can get to be a bit of a bore. A Trump associate told the author that Mr. Trump tends to drone on and repeat himself, so anyone who has a single point to make would be well advised to slip it into the conversation as fast as he can. Grumpy Trumps. Michael Wolff tells us that Donald Trump didn't really want to be president, so that must have been the reason why the grumpy Trumps looked stressed and angry at his inauguration. The big stars had boycotted the event, Donald and Melania had been fighting, and the First Lady seemed tearful. And that's the first time we saw what the president's aides call his golf face, a look that repeats itself every time the North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un fires a missile or Iran provokes Washington. Golf over office. Media mogul Rupert Murdoch advised President Trump often that he had 6 months into office to make an impression. But the president was often distracted. He would try to limit his working hours and sneak off for his routine rounds of golf. Who'd want to be working files in the Oval Office when you could be teeing off? Boy, that hair. And here's the secret behind that flaming shock of hair straight from daughter Ivanka. She describes it as an absolutely clean pate, a furry circle of hair around the sides and front from which all ends are drawn up to meet in the center and then swept back and secured by a stiffening spray. The color was from a product called Just for Men. The longer it was left on, the darker it got. But impatience resulted in President Trump's orange blonde hair color. Locked bedroom, TVs. Multiple screens and a lock on the door of the president's separate bedroom. This, writes the author, is the first time since the Kennedys that the first couple of the United States have separate sleeping quarters. Hands off my stuff. And this is the presidential mood we all know so well, like a kid in a sandpit. If my shirt's on the floor, I want it there. I left it there. And keep your hands off my toothbrush. The Big Mac. Nobody could come up with a better explanation for sticking with America's most famous food chain than an American president, of course. President Trump's fear of poisoning made him eat, quote-unquote, the safely pre-made food of his namesake company, McDonald's. Early burgers. The US president's an early diner, whether with an aide or in bed with his favorite takeaway burger. He watches 3 channels and phones his friends all at the same time. Not that kind of guy. The president, writes the author, was annoyed that even as he was saving American jobs from going to Mexico, the media were talking about him wandering around the White House in a bathrobe. Mr. Trump seems most annoyed by that bathrobe because, hey, what kind of a guy would wear a bathrobe? Not he.